Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent. We got a couple people in. James and Deborah?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I apologize for starting late, guys. I'm going to have to implement a new policy because the old one's not working. I've asked people not to send me invites the last minute because when they do, I have to add them to the calendar and then make a note in their file and then add them to the invite and then send the invite out. And it makes it go out late, and then everybody winds up logging in late or starting late, and it looks bad on me. Like I can't start the meeting on time, which I'm always ready to. And the policy was I won't add you if you ask to be invited a half an hour in advance. But, you know, sometimes things happen. And if someone's got a bid they need to work on today and it's due in the morning, I don't want to not add them and then not help them. So from now on, what I'm going to do, obviously any newbies that are in, you guys don't know this. It is on the instructions to join the video. Not everybody reads it, obviously. But in the future, when we get in, anyone who's asked to be invited at the last minute, I'm going to have to remind them that we can't do that, and I'm going to do it in the training in front of everybody. So maybe a little bit of embarrassment factor will get them on the ball next time. Having said that, let's get started. Anybody got a bid, solicitation, or proposal to work on today on this glorious Friday? Anybody got a question?
I'm just signing in. Sorry.
Excellent. That's okay. Got a couple of people in so far. I'll go back over that joining late thing here in a few minutes. Anybody got a question or proposal, solicitation, bid to work on? No questions? It is Friday. It'd be nice to get out of here on time for once.
I got a question.
Go for it.
So your cage code, is it linked to your bank account?
Yes, your cage code is linked to a checking or a savings account. We cannot set up a cage code without that, and that's not our choice. That's not our doing. That's the government. The government will not allow you to have a cage code unless it is associated with a checking or savings account. It doesn't have to be business, could be personal. But the reason why they do that is sometimes they actually pay you via wire transfer through your cage code, and of course your cage code is associated with your checking, so they wire the money directly in your checking account.
So that would be smart to make sure that things set up correctly.
Yeah. One of the things
I have my cage code. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's a good question, because the reason why we know that, about 5 years ago, I got a phone call from a woman one day. She was almost in tears. She said, look, I sure hope you can help me, because I've been trying for 2 months to get this money, and the government paid me 200 and something, 280,000, I think it was. But she said my attorney set up my SAM and he typoed my account, and this money went to someone else. And I haven't been able to get it back. And she says, if I don't get that money, I can't make payroll this month. I'm going to go out of business because my attorney made a basic typo, you know. And fortunately, we were able to help her get her money back, and she was able to make payroll, and everything worked out fine. But since that day, we implemented a program where when we register one of our clients, we have a special step where we verify that account and make sure it's the correct account. Because the last thing we want to do, and you guys know no one's perfect all the time. We're going to make a mistake eventually. That's common sense. No one can be perfect always. So in order to prevent that, we put steps in place to make sure that mistakes don't happen. So we verify your account when we process it into your cage code. And the easiest way to verify it when you pay us for our services is to pay us by check, and we verify it at the same time. If you don't pay us by check and you pay us by credit card, you still have to cut a check. We still have to contact your bank. We still have to verify the account, and that's additional steps that makes it longer for us to process you. So in the future, if you guys want us to get it done as quickly as possible and verify the account at the same time, pay us by check, and we kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So your guys' firm, we can just sign up, register, and then hire your services? Because I see it's usfcrgov.com, right?
Correct. The reason why we set it up like that, there's actually a specific reason for the reason why we have our domain like that. Our organization was created originally by a federal purchasing agent as a nonprofit. He was helping small businesses, teaching them how to get registered, giving them advice on proposals and bids. And he obviously he worked for the government as a purchasing agent, so he had to do it for free or it's a conflict of interest. When he retired, a lot of the businesses that he was helping said, please don't leave us, we need you. And he said, well, unfortunately at the time his wife was diagnosed with brain cancer and he was not going to start a business and continue to work. He was retiring. He'd been working for retirement for 40 years. He finally got to that point. Him and his wife wanted to go on the road and do their bucket list. So he said, look, guys, I can't start a business and help you. But a good friend of mine, Eric Nellinger, who's our CEO, knows just as much about government contracts as I do. I'm going to get with him. He'll start a consulting business. You guys can pay him a fee and he'll help you. And that's completely legitimate. And him and Eric got together and they discussed all the issues that the purchasing agent ran into. And one of those issues was having the correct account set up with your cage code so he could pay you. If a purchasing agent thinks that he can't pay you, for example, if you don't have the accounts receivable POC set up in SAM, which a lot of people who self-certify don't, because when you put in your accounts receivable POC in SAM, you have to put it in like 6 different windows. And if you miss one of those places, it won't fill it out across the board. And now you got your SAM registered and it's active and you think you're compliant, and technically you are, but there's no accounts receivable POC listed. Now a purchasing agent looks at that and he says, man, they don't have an accounts receivable point of contact. I'm going to have a problem paying them. I don't want to hire them because I don't want to have problems. Guys, we got to make it as easy for these people to hire us as possible. And every little hiccup you got in your way that makes it harder for them to hire you or could cause an issue down the road and is going to make their job more difficult, they're going to skip you and go to the next guy because they want their job to be as easy as possible. They're government employees, number 1, and they're humans, number 2, which means they're inherently lazy. All right?
Gotcha.
Good question.
So let me ask one more question.
Yes.
How do we register with your firm? Is that U.S. Federal Contractors Registration?
If you're a new guy or you found my videos online and I invited you to the training to check it out, all you got to do is get with me after the training. I'll show you what services we offer and what options you have to hire us, and we can do that on a private section. Because the main thing I use this training for is to work on bids. And solicitations and proposals and, to answer questions. And there's nothing wrong with that. That was a great question about the cage code. That's important. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that's a basic mistake that could cost you. You do a contract and you go to get paid and your account number is not right in SAM and that money goes to someone else because your account was typoed. That person could technically keep the money. You'd have to take them to court and sue them to prove that that's not their money. And you could win, but that's going to take time and it's going to cost you attorney's fees and everything else. Fortunately for my client, my CEO knows some people, and he basically just contacted the company and said, look, if you don't give this woman her money back, she's going to go out of business. And not only is she going to sue you for that money, she's going to sue you for all the future money that she's losing from going out of business, and you're going to lose. And they came up with the money real quick. They had spent some of it, but somehow they came up with it and paid it back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. That's a good question. Anybody got a bid or solicitation or proposal to work on today, or anybody else with questions? Line them up. Let's do it.
I do have, I'm Jackie Burrell, and I do have one that hopefully I can work on. I recently was, I got my w.o.s.b through vet-biz.
Okay.
So, and Gina is waiting for, I've been waiting a few weeks for my portal, and I'm a little anxious to get that going because, I'm watching things go by.
Sure. And you got a bid to work on, or do you have a question?
No, I have a bid.
Awesome. And Gina sent me the link to it. Did Gina send me the link to the bid?
I believe.
This one right here, the
You
VH.
there, John? I don't know if
Can you see my screen?
this is for the bottled water for. I cannot see your screen.
You cannot see my screen. Okay, you should
You
see my screen.
obviously.
No. I never look at your, no. I don't have access to your guys' computers. I don't have access to see your screen. I can't see through your cameras, none of that. We're very secured. I mean, we deal
Okay,
with government
I
agencies.
see a
We have
little
high
baby, a little cute baby.
You're in. Okay, awesome. Now, if you guys ever want me to make you presenter and you want to show me something, then yes, I would see your screen, but only with your permission. And you would have to click on a link and actually say, yes, I want to show my screen. So I want to make sure that's clear so you guys don't think I'm actually watching you.
Cool, okay.
All right, so you're new. This is your first time. That's kind of weird. You're new. This is your first time to the training.
I'm a virgin.
Awesome.
You can see my screen. I'm a virgin.
Oh, it's good times. Anytime you want to join, you're welcome. I do this training every day from Monday through Friday. We're probably going to add a Tuesday and a Thursday at lunch, so we give some people a little bit different time frames to get in. We're still working on that. Probably implement it next week. We'll see. Anytime you want to join, let me know at least a half an hour before the meeting starts that you want to join. People that ask to join at the last minute, I wind up having to add them. I tell people I won't add them if they ask at the last minute, but I'd hate for someone to have a bid that's due tomorrow and I didn't let them in because they were late. And then, you know, I don't want that to happen. But
Yeah.
When they do ask at the last minute, it makes the entire meeting start late. And then some people think that I'm the one that's not on time, so I look bad. So in the future, what I'm going to do, if you guys need to get in at the last minute, that's fine. I'll still let you in. But I'm going to remind you in the training that please don't do that. Please let me know a half an hour in advance. So I'm going to kind of, you know, embarrass you a little bit to get you to let me know next time in the future. You let me know way early today. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to a few.
Not a problem.
And they know who they are. So this is the one right here.
It's the bottled water.
I'm going to actually go to it in FBO. Well, that one says artwork. Are you?
There's actually two. So one's
Evolution
artwork and the other is bottled water. That's me.
Jacqueline, yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's try this one.
I will look over and keep it file.
Excuse me. Okay, it says that one's not a valid ID. It could be a typo, or it could be that it's archived. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search it in the archives, and it's not there. I'm going to Google it real quick just to make sure it is a valid ID, because if it is, it'll be on a whole bunch of websites, and we'll know that. So that's definitely an active opportunity. Why is it not coming up in FBO? It could be a glitch, because it does happen now and then, although there's only 4 links to it, which is kind of weird. Let's try getting rid of the dashes.
Should I email the guy?
You know what? If you have it,
You
actually, hey, are you in FBO at all?
I do it.
If you can go into FBO and go to that opportunity and then copy this link up here in the address bar and email that to me, that'd be awesome.
Okay, hang on one sec.
Anybody else have a quick question in the meantime?
I think I had a question.
Okay.
What is it? The last question. Okay, so the SBO response date, if it's past the date, that is closed, right? Don't even worry about it.
Not necessarily. That's another good question, and here's why. Again, purchasing agents are generally government employees, and purchasing agents are humans, and humans are inherently lazy. So if, let's say, for example, I took the time to type all this stuff and put it in FBO. And then a week later, the bid's due 3 weeks from now, but a week later I realized I don't have enough money in my budget, or they said, we don't need that right now, or I got a different job. I moved, got a different job. I was promoted or demoted or fired or died. Anything could have happened why that thing's still sitting there and it wasn't archived. Or in the case where they decided not to purchase it for now, or don't need it for now, or don't have money in the budget, they would go ahead and archive it. And then 6 months down the road, when they were ready to buy it again, instead of going back in and retyping all that stuff, because people, humans are inherently lazy, they don't retype it. They just go back in and they pull it out of the archives. So when that happens, it's going to have an old date on it, even though it's still currently active. What I would do in that case, so it's not always that it's past, that it's no good anymore. The best thing to do in that case, before you invest any time on it, just drop the purchasing agent an email and ask them nicely, is this still an active opportunity? And say thanks and see if you get a reply. If not, don't waste any time on it. And when I say nicely, I mean, I had a client send an email one day and ask the purchasing agent, literally, he said, did you forget to archive this? And he CC'd me on it. And, he got in the training and we were talking about it. And I said, well, when you ask somebody if they forget to do something, in a way you're insulting them. You're saying, are you stupid, or, you don't have any memory? What, do you got Alzheimer's? You got 2 brain cells left and one's waving by to the other? And he goes, well, John Wayne, I didn't mean any disrespect. I'm a New Yorker. That's how I talk. And I was like, well, Joey, not everybody's a New Yorker. Not everybody talks like that, Just just be respectful and nice, and always say thanks, and just ask them, is this still an active opportunity? Anybody that doesn't know how to email a purchasing officer, there's actually a specific way that you do that. And if you don't do it the right way, they might not get your email. I can show you real quick while we're waiting for that email to come in. And also I have, let's see here.
Hi, John. I have a question.
Yes.
This is Ali from ZDOS. I'm just following up. I sent you an email about 2 weeks ago about our product, ZBiz Link.
Okay.
And I believe CEO Samina has also sent an email. I want to follow up. I wanted to see if we were able to do that. We could talk about our product on your here, if you give us any time whenever you have time in the next few sessions.
Yeah, I still haven't heard back from legal on that, because there's a few things that you guys are doing that are kind of a conflict of interest with what we do.
Gotcha.
So I'm just waiting to hear back from legal for them to give me the approval on it.
Okay. What about the items that are not of conflict of interest in the product?
That's if there's one area that's a conflict, and I refer a client to you and they do all the things that are not a conflict, they're going to eventually run across that thing that is a conflict. And then if my CEO finds out that I've referred somebody to a situation like that, it's my butt that goes in the grinder,
Right.
So we were talking about how to email a purchasing officer properly. So let's say, for example, you need to ask this purchasing officer if this opportunity is still good. Let's say it had an old response date on it. What you want to do is copy this right here and then scroll to the bottom, click their email. I always look at their first name, because I always call them by their first name. I don't call them Mr. or Mrs. anything, because you never know if it's a guy or a girl these days. Click the email, paste. I put in his first name. That also works well because some people's emails, they use the first letter of their name and then their last name. And obviously, if you know their first name, they're more apt to think that that's a legitimate email because how does he know my first name if he doesn't know me when it's not in my email? So I put in their
What if
first
you
name.
don't know their first name?
Then don't use their first name. That's all.
Okay.
I put in their first name regarding Saul number. The description, I'm not going to use the whole description because that's a huge description. I'm just going to use Herbert Hover Dyke Rehabilitation. That's good enough. And then I'm going to ask them, is this still an active opportunity?
Morning.
And then I'm going to say
Is
thanks.
that it?
That's it. I'm going to say thanks. And that's
Hey,
it.
can you hold that screen real quick? I'm going to screenshot this. So I can...
I'm recording this video if you want.
Okay.
That's great.
And I've already got a video that discusses all of this. I'm going to send you the link to that as well. Now, before I send it, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to copy it back into the body of the email so I can spell check it. Hello. You could run into a purchasing agent that used to teach English and she's a grammar Nazi and she didn't hire you because you don't know how to spell. Seriously, I've heard it before. You know, his proposal was sloppy and it was misspelling and grammatical errors. So we thought that he wasn't the right guy for the job because, you know, if you can't do basic grammar, how are you supposed to build a nuclear power plant? So I'm going to paste it back again.
Hey, John, can you give me your email real quick?
It's if you join my training, it's on. Oh, do you send me that? It's J as in John, Wayne, W-A-Y-N-E, at Uniform Sierra Foxtrot Charlie Romeo Golf.
Got it.
Okay, now I'm going to paste this back into the subject bar so I know it's spelled properly. And I'm going to leave it in the base, in the body as well, because some people's emails, when they get the email, they don't see the entire subject line. All right, so leave it in both. Leave it in the subject line. Some people don't click on emails. They read the subject line and they decide based on the subject line if they're going to delete it or read it. So do both. And then take everything out of the email. You don't want any links, any hot links, anything that can get that email blocked. And you send it. That's all. And move on. So if it's not an active opportunity, you don't want to waste any time reading it and, investing time on it. Now, anybody that needs any further details on that, if you go to videos and you search John Wayne email. Now, John Wayne helps if I spell it right. Lady Gaga came out with this song, John Wayne, and it's affected my video positioning. Do John Wayne government.
Maybe you should do a video.
Right?
John Wayne video.
Government contracts email. Where is it? Okay, search didn't get my email. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, but it usually comes straight up. All right, let's do this. I know it's on my LinkedIn. It's got a can of it's a picture with a can of Spam. There it is. No. There it is. Sorry, guys. I thought I had a link to the video, but I guess I don't. So I'll send you guys the article. It's a good article. It's got some humor in it. You guys see that spam that just popped up? Some lady just told me she loves me. I can teach you guys all kinds of things about avoiding scams. I have one video called How to Avoid a Scam. There's a few additional tricks that I've learned since then, but watch that one too, because that's a really good video. And of course, you guys can always email stuff to me, and I'll tell you whether it's a scam or not. I've always got your back. Email everybody this, so they've all got it. I got Jackie's email. Awesome.
I can't find it though.
Well, I can search it by keyword here in a minute. We'll try that.
Now he emailed it to me. I have no clue how he got my name.
You still have his email?
Yeah, I forwarded it to you.
All right. Okay, that's on its way, guys. Let me check out this email. Yeah, anybody who's not connected with me on LinkedIn or subscribed to me on YouTube, do it, and you'll get my daily articles and videos. You'll have access to all that.
I'm subscribed.
Awesome. Okay, this is definitely a standard form. Why is it not enlarging? There we go. All right. All right, so did you have a specific question about this, or you just don't want to know where to get started?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
Did you have a specific question about this, or you just want to know where to get started?
Yeah, I don't. So this is, when you read into it, it says that it's a bid to look artwork for an oncology site going to, I think it was Pennsylvania. And I got my verification in January, and Gina and I have been best friends since then. And as I said, I'm a virgin at this.
Well, here's the thing, Virgin. All you got to look for, people give me nicknames all the time. We had a girl that she sent me an email. She said, I want to do government contracts, but I'm scared shitless. So her nickname's Scared Shitless now, When you're looking at
shitless?
When you're looking at an opportunity, there's two things you want to look for. You want to look for what the government wants you to do and how the government wants you to submit the bid. And those things are typically called two different things. What they want you to do is typically called the statement of work, the SOW, or in this case, they're calling it a scope of work. Sometimes they don't call it a statement of work or a scope of work, an SOW. They call it a PWS, a performance work statement. Either way, it's going to have the word work in it, and it's going to have, or sometimes it's going to have the word need in it. They're calling this one a statement of need, which is, the government makes stuff up all the time. It's funny. That's what it is the government wants to buy. So this is the detailed instructions, the project scope, the general and the specifics on what they want to buy. And here is the form they want you to fill out to give your pricing on what they want to buy. And that's it. That's really all they need you to fill out to give them a price. Now, included in this standard form, they also need you to fill out blocks 12, 17, 23, 24, and 30 on this page right here. Block 12 is your discount terms. Block 17 is who you are. Block 23 and 24 is your pricing, and block 30 is where you sign and date. Now, they don't want you to put your pricing on this one because it says see schedule or statement of needs. You're going to scroll down, and that's where they want you to put your pricing is right here actually on this page. Now, in this case, they also want you to acknowledge the amendments, and they have an amendment acknowledgement page in this standard form right here as well. In addition to that, other thing we're looking for on this page, which is going to be right after this, is we're looking for the instructions to offerer. Instructions to offerer tells us what the government wants us to submit. Now, I'm not going to look at a 30-page document to find it. I'm going to do a Control F and open a find box. I'm going to put in the word instructions. There it is, instructions to offerers. Now, I know right away this is the 52.212-1 instructions to offer, so they want the standard information that they always want on every 52.212-1 instructions to offer, which is, where's it at? There it is. So, they want the standard thing. They want a cover page. They want a signature page. If you're printing it, you're going to need an index page to show them what pages each page starts and finish. They're going to want that standard form, which is also a price proposal. They want a copy of your reps and certs. They're going to want a technical proposal, which if it's a product, it's just a brochure for that widget. If it's a service, you need a description of how you're going to provide the service and do it safely and properly and on time, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they'll ask you for a separate price proposal, or they'll say volume 1 and volume 2. They'll break it up. And a lot of times they're going to want your past performance, your experience in that arena. So we're going to read further and find out exactly what it is that they want. And it's literally right here in black and white. This is the NACS code they're using. Signed, dated offers, office solicitation, absence of all of it's standard form, 19 letterhead, station, or otherwise specified. So they're saying they want you to include the standard form, which they've attached, because it's at the top of this. Or if you're not going to use the standard form, they want you to put the pricing on your letterhead or stationery, otherwise specified solicitation. As minimum, offers must show the solicitation number, the time and receipt of offers, name, address, phone number, technical description of items being offered, sufficient detail, evaluate compliance with the requirements of the solicitation may include documentary necessary, terms of express warranty, price and any discount terms, remit to address, a completed copy of the reps and certs, acknowledgement of solicitation amendments, past performance information. If the offer is submitted on the standard form 1449, include a statement specifying a standard agreement with all terms, conditions, inclusions, this file is filled for representation form of the conditions solicitation may be included from consideration. So they want you to put either on your cover page or on your signature page where you agree to all terms and conditions. Period of acceptance of prices. You always have to give them at least 30 days.
Yeah, come by later.
They may require product samples. They may require multiple offers. Late submissions, modifications, revisions, and withdrawals of offers. So this is what happens if you submit late, modify, revise, or withdraw. This is the instructions on if that happens. And that's it. The rest of this is reps and certs.
But let me ask, okay, so let me ask you a question. So he's looking for a price to, it looks like he's looking for a price to print a artwork and, you know, bid on what that's going to cost. But if I don't see the artwork or what type it is, how the hell am I going to bid for it?
Well, in that case, if they don't have it attached to, because I'm not seeing the original solicitation in FBO. Let me see if it'll come up now that I have the right SOL number. SOL number is VA 24417 Quebec 0772. Anybody who hasn't learned the military alphabet, learn it ASAP, immediately. Why is it not coming up? Go back to the form. Did I lose the form? No, it's right there. I did lose it. That form's opening twice, which was very unusual. VA 244-17Q0772. Why is it not coming up? That's the purchasing agent's email, and that's his phone number, which is weird that they have it in here, and they're calling it a statement of need, which I've never heard that before. It could just, you know, some purchasing agents call it different things. Something's fishy here. So let me try. Something doesn't look right. See, it should pop up and say FBO, and it's not. Let's look at it through. Wait a minute. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this may be a scam because...
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Though technically I'm the only one allowed to cuss on here.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let's see here. Something's fishy and I'm not seeing it, and I'm usually quick to catch these. The fact that they reached out to you, number one, it does happen, but not as often.
As an SDVOSB, I've gotten a few reach outs, but whenever I've emailed them, they've come right back.
Right. Has he responded to you at all?
Nope. And when do they usually put their cell phone?
Rarely. 412-822-3447. 412-822-3447. 412. That's it. It's legitimate. It would be tough for him to have a va.gov email address and get away with that. But when I search that, it's coming up on the VA's website. So I know that's legitimate. Why is it not coming up in FBO? I don't know.
But it also says as of September of 16. That's a pretty long time that who's active.
When is this due?
Monday.
It's due Monday?
Now it's due Monday at 1300. I think it's 13 or 1400.
It says here it's due.
So I do have.
So you've got until next Friday, next Saturday.
Okay, if you look at the email, it says, and maybe I understood it wrong, but it said Monday.
There's a whole lot of weirdness going on here. Let's do this. I don't want to take up the whole training going through this because we're not really getting anywhere, not finding it. I've got some time after the training's over. Let's you and I get on and see what I can find here because there's way too many weirdness with this. There's too many red flags here. All right. So we'll come back to this. You said you had one more, right?
Cool.
Did you have one
more?
more?
But the one more, I think it's due next week. So, yeah, I have one more, but it's due next week. So
okay, we got time then. Does anybody else have anything that's due today or Monday that you need to work on today, or anybody got a serious question that has to be covered today? If there's nothing else to work on or no other questions, I'll keep going with this. No? All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions or anything, let's dig a little deeper because you guys are learning how to dig too. All right. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go back to the statement of work, to the statement of need. On-collie activations artwork. I'm going to take that, go into FBO, go to the advanced search, search for both, go down to the keyword or saw box, and I'm going to paste those 3 keywords, put them in quotes, put capital ands in between each word, get rid of the dash, activations. Activations is a real word. Why is it saying it's not? Oh, because there's no comma. All right. So I'm going to search those 3 words in quotes with capital N's between the 2 and see what happens. I'm not going to select any codes, not going to click on anything else, just going to put in those keywords and search. I'd searched both the caves and the archives. Let's try getting rid of activation since that's a typo. That's not working either. I don't know. There's a
Could
lot
it
of red
be that
flags.
being that this is probably not, like, being not a, I don't see how this is going to be a very expensive job. Could it be that they're not, they didn't have to, I guess, go to bidding? I don't know.
I mean, they would still put it in an FBO. Even if they were going to sole source it or single source it, they'd still put it in an FBO. Unless it's a high-level security or top secret or something like that where they don't have to, they're typically going to put it in there anyway so they can show that it was awarded and who it was awarded to. Now, it says right here, anticipated delivery is March 31st. That's delivery date. Dimensions and construction, landscape, laminated, stretch canvas, wrapped edges, quantity 12, center wrapped, which is located, landscape, dimensions. There's a lot of red flags on this one. My first intention, my first thought when seeing this would be to go ahead and reply to the purchasing agent, to his email, and ask them where you could obtain pictures or samples of what it is he's wanting to, and see if you get a response from him. It says you can chat with him on MS
Now, if I
Link.
don't get a response from him, it says I can chat with him in links, MS Links.
Yeah, that's
and I have
very
a
weird
Mac.
too. Normally, purchasing agents don't give you
and
outside links. There's a lot of red flags on this.
MS Links is not military. So what do I do? I mean, other than email him, but
I would just email him and ask him if he can tell you where to find this in FBO, number one, or where you could find examples.
okay.
And if not, there's a lot of red flags on this, and I would move on.
Okay.
All right.
But shouldn't we, if this is somebody that's, you know, shouldn't somebody know about that? So, you know, some other poor bastard doesn't get stuff.
If it's not legitimate, you can report it to the Government Accountability Office. But the thing you got to keep in mind, again, humans are inherently lazy, and they're going to do as little work as possible. Whenever I've tried to report scams, like there was a scam where the guy was trying to buy hard drives for the University of Miami, right? No, it was University of North Dakota or something like that. So I figured, I need to do something about this so some poor schmuck doesn't get scammed. I called the university. They directed me to their local, the on school police department. I talked to the police department. He's like, yeah, we know about it. We get phone calls about it every day. He says, technically, it's not our problem because that's a state issue. So you need to contact the state of the person who's scamming, whatever phone number or anything like that specifies what state they're in. You got to contact the local state police. It's their problem. It's not ours. And I'm like, yeah, but your university is being used to scam people. He said, I know, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's a state issue. It's not a federal issue. So you may waste some time trying to do something about it. And, I tell people this, look, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Let the dogs eat the dogs. Be a lion, all right? Because lions eat everything.
Yep, got it. Okay.
Any other questions? Anybody else got anything? Or did you have that other link? Or we still got a few minutes?
The other link for the other product?
Yeah, if not, we'll have time next week. I am sending you on the instructions to offer, I'm sending everybody all my templates. So when they ask you for a cover page, I've got a template cover page. They ask you for a signature page, I got a template signature page.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Any other questions?
That's it.
That's it for me.
Hey, I'm sorry, John.
Yes.
So I signed up with Gina, and I guess they're putting my portal together.
Okay.
Do you have any guesstimate as to when that will be ready?
No clue. You'd have to contact Gina or your case manager.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. I emailed all of you those template docs and the instructions to offer requirements. Anybody who hasn't gotten my, it says that your security software may say my emails are unsafe, but I got the safest emails on the planet, guys. Don't worry about it. Anybody who hasn't got my acronyms list or the links that you watch in the first and second video, training videos, let me know. I'll send them to you. Anytime you guys have if you get anything that looks suspicious, before you do anything, email it to me, especially if they're asking for money, asking for a credit card or a check, and they're reaching out to you, check with me first. There's a lot of scams out there. The biggest ones are with this procurement scams is that they'll ask you for a quote on some hard drives and stuff. And it's usually hard drives, which is funny because no one brokers hard drives anymore. They'll ask you for a quote. You'll send them the quote. They'll say, congratulations, you won the bid. They'll mail or FedEx you a check. And the first red flag is that they're sending you a check in the mail or via FedEx, because the government rarely does that. The second red flag is because they're overseas and they don't speak proper English, and they'll spell it check, C-H-E-Q-U-E, which us Americans don't do. That's a huge red flag. And then they'll ask you to deposit the check, and then they'll call you back 6 hours or a day later, and they'll say, you know what, I'm sorry, but we already made that purchase. My mistake. This is what I'm going to do for you. Since you're such a nice guy, or since you were so professional, I don't want to mess up this relationship down the road. I'm going to let you keep half of that money. If you would just go to Western Union and take the other half and send it back to me, Western Union, that'd be great. And what's going to happen is that check's bogus. It's not going to clear. You just pulled $6,000 out of your account and sent it back thinking they're going to let you keep $6,000. And by the time you figure out you've been scammed, it's too late. And the way they get around
Wow.
the scam is that they'll, on the other end, they still have to go to Western Union and show their ID to collect that money. What they do is they find a bum on the street and they pay him $500. Hey, dude, go to Western Union and get this money and I'll give you 500 of it. And now the bum's the one that goes to jail for doing nothing
Wow.
except being a bum, you know?
Mm.
So anytime
John,
they're
can you
asking,
hear me?
yes.
This is Diane from Haradiva. I just got on and you're about to get off.
Yeah, unfortunately,
But,
I ended at 5, but I can still answer some questions.
okay. So where am I? What's going on with me?
What's the name of your company?
Haradiva.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you joined. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are going to get phone calls and emails from people telling you that you're not registered properly, that you're not compliant, that you're not set up properly, you're inactive. And you're going to say, well, I paid John Wayne. And they're going to say, well, John Wayne's a scam. They're the scam. They're trying to get your money. They don't care about you. All they want is your money. Check with me first. This is a prime example. This is the Haradiva. This is one of my clients. She's registered. Someone reached out and told her she wasn't properly registered, got her worked up. They're trying to take your money. Now I'm going to show you that you're compliant.
Okay.
Should have Sam still pulled up. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to pause real quick because I'm going to pull up your file and I don't want anyone to see your pertinent information. So I'm going to pause it real quick. All right, so I'm going to go to sam.gov, which is the government's primary system for ward management. It's the primary payment system, www.sam.gov. I'm going to put in your DUNS number, which is public information. You guys don't ever have to worry about giving out your DUNS or your cage code. And search. And there's your registration in SAM. We're going to do, you can see right here it's active. You can see there's your cage code. You have no delinquent federal debt. You have no active exclusions. You're good till 1/20 of 2018. There's your DUNS number. Your purpose of registration is for all awards. So we're going to click View Details. And we're going to see that you're registered as a DBA under Sherman, Jeffrey D, doing business as Haradiva. We're going to go to Entity Registration. And there's all your contact information, your phone numbers, address. Oh, you're in Killeen, Texas?
I am.
You are? I grew up in Texas. We played my freshman year. We played you guys freshman year, and you guys killed us. It was like 68-7 or something like that.
Wow. Wow.
Football?
That was in the day.
Yeah.
That was back in the day.
It was so bad, they actually stopped the game. There was no way we were going to come back. They were like, we're just going to stop the game so there's no injuries. Because you guys
Was that football?
creamed us. Yeah. Oh, my God, they creamed us so bad.
All right then.
We only got,
don't get revenge on me.
well, we only got one touchdown, and I was the one that got it. So,
All right then.
Well,
So
where
let me
you
ask
live?
you
Running
something.
back?
I did running
Okay.
back, and I did special teams. So you can,
All right then.
right here in SAM, you're a sole proprietor, you're for-profit, you service disabled, veteran, woman, minority-owned, black-owned, small business for all awards. You are fully 100% registered and legitimate and active. So that company that told you you're not is a scam. They're trying to scam you.
Okay, so but I went in there and I put up a category of wigs, and I saw everybody else's company but mine.
Right, but you can't search SAM by keyword. So you weren't searching in SAM. You were searching in our database that allows you to verify your DUNS or your cage or your, yeah, if you want, I can have them add you to that. That's a new thing they came out with because people get confused and they go to the wrong site and they don't go to SAM. They go to a scam site and they get scammed. So they created that link on our website that people can use, our clients can use to make sure they never get scammed. So I can have them add you to it. But the only reason that site is there is so you can check on yourself. No purchasing agent. No one's going to search there and call you and say, I found you in John Wayne's website and I want to buy your wigs. It doesn't work that way.
I wish it would. It can. Yeah, okay. So now,
Yes.
I have not seen anything that I could bid on.
Are you using FBO?
Yeah. FBO, and it's just nothing come up, and when I put in my numbers or name or whatever. I'm looking at, I see where they have gotten bids, but I don't see any bids up actively or anything that qualifies me.
Maybe do you have the right NACs in?
Well, I put that in, and my next has got 2 or 3 categories, but when I do that, after I sift through the categories, it's not for me.
Okay, here's one for mannequins that probably includes wigs. So obviously, unless you want to broker the mannequin part, you wouldn't bid on it. But what you can do is you can add this to your watch list, and when it's awarded, you can contact the guys that are supplying the mannequins and say, hey, I can supply you with the wigs, and you could be a subcontractor.
Yeah, I could do that. Okay.
Colonial white wigs, can you get those?
I'm sure.
See that they buy these for doing when they do like the Navy and the Army and the Marines. They're always doing what do you call it? Not carnivals, parades. They do parades. They have a drum line and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll wear the old colonial wigs. I've got a client who does nothing. He does nothing but sells maces. You know what a mace is?
No, I don't.
In the marching band, that guy that stands out front and does that weird walk and swings that big stick.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They sell nothing but maces to the federal government, and these things run $4 or $5 grand a piece.
I can put a wig on that.
How about you and I do this?
Okay.
We're out of time now,
okay.
But sometime next week when you got a few minutes, either during the 4 o'clock or after, let me know. I'll log into your FBO. I'll see how your searches are set up. We can modify them, see what we can do. And next class, I'll show you how to market yourself to primes too. So I'll show you how to market yourself to the companies that are already selling wigs to the government, because the government buys them. I know that for a fact.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know that.
If you go to FBO.
Okay, hey, John, if I can real quick before you go, how do you sign up to get like the daily emails from you or whatever it is on LinkedIn?
Oh, all you got to do is go to my LinkedIn, go to my main homepage.
Okay.
And on my homepage, underneath my profile, there's a big button that says follow. Yeah, there's a big button that says follow. Click it, and you'll follow me. And every day, I don't post, well, yeah, I do post articles on LinkedIn every day now. Every time I post something, you'll get a notification that I posted something. And I can tell you this, my LinkedIn post, guys, if you're not using LinkedIn for your business, you're missing out, because my LinkedIn post, look, I've only had this article up here a week, 3,500 views.
Wow.
And a view doesn't seem like a lot, but out of 3,500 views, I guarantee you I'll get 5 to 10 people that'll contact me and say, hey, I saw an article that you posted, and I want to learn more about government contracting. That's free business.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you're a celebrity.
I don't know. I'm getting there. Check this out. This just happened the other day. I've had the #1 video under government contracts for over a year now, right? Now, changes throughout the day too, depending on the time frame. 2 things. The other day, I was not only #1, but I was also #2, and my YouTube channel came up #3. Not fluctuating, depending on the time of the day and the people viewing and what have you. But I'm #1. I'm #4. My YouTube channel's #5.
Okay.
I'm #9. So I got 5 of the 10.
That's pretty cool.
Videos.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm in the right place. Well, I'll touch bases with you next week after the call, and we'll see what we can do.
Sure. And look, guys, outside of just government contracts, if you want to learn anything else, if I know anything about it, I'll teach you. You want to learn how to post your videos on YouTube, make them go viral? You want to learn how to get LinkedIn articles to go popular? You want to learn how to get more Facebook followers? Every time I go to Facebook, I got 10, 15 new people to confirm every time I open this
Okay,
up.
so is that all that? Is all that training going to be within the hours posted for class, or?
I'll teach you guys anything you want to know. And a lot of this stuff that I'm teaching in the class, I've already got a video on as well. I don't use Twitter. I don't twit. I don't take selfies. I don't use Instagram. But I was told recently that using Twitter ties in to LinkedIn, and it ties into Facebook, and it ties into LinkedIn and YouTube. So I had to use it out of necessity. Now, I've had a Twitter account for 2 years, and I've only had 36 followers for 2 years. The other day, I figured out a secret with Twitter, and now look, notifications. No, what is it under?
I don't know.
Hey, John, it ain't twit, it's tweet.
Tweet. In the last week, 63 new followers, 63, 71, 20, 35. I went from 35
Twitters.
Tweets.
tweets. I went from, where am I at? I got to go to my account. There we go. I went from 35 followers to 1,500 in a week.
Wow.
Celebrity.
Wow.
Holy.
So if you guys need to know how to get more Twitter followers, if you need to know how to get more Facebook friends, you need to know how to get more LinkedIn followers, you want to know how to get your videos to go #1 on YouTube, I will teach you guys anything I know, because all this stuff ties in together. If you're an expert in your field, if you're the best wig woman in this country, you need to be putting videos out telling people you know everything about wigs. You're the expert, and you need to prove that and get your videos to go #1, and you will get free business from it.
Okay, well, how do I get you here? I just bring you here and stay with me for about a week or so. I won't beat you. I'll let you win in the football game and everything.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, you need to take a vacation. You can do everything from here. They won't miss you. You know, I just need to pull on you a little bit more.
This has been one of the best trainings I think I've ever had.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, wait till I keep coming on.
I love it.
Hey, Texas. Hey, hey, Texas. This is Jackie from New York. Friend request me, and I'll forward your stuff around.
Sure, because I am the wigologist.
Wigs.
I know you haven't heard of that term because I made that term up. So I'm the wigologist.
You are. You got it.
So,
you're the Harry
yeah,
Diva.
so I will.
That's very cool. I
I'm
really
Harry
like
Diva,
that.
the
I like your
wigologist.
way of thinking. And maybe John Wayne, or I'm Jackie Burrell, Jackie Hall Burrell. And
okay.
When I email you guys, when I email you guys the invite to join the meetings, you're all in the same to list. So you can just go in that to list and grab the email and email me. All right.
That's awesome.
Okay. Okay.
You guys have a wonderful
awesome.
weekend. It's after 5 and it's Friday. Thank God. I'm gonna get out of here.
Thank you.
All right, John. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one. Everybody on the line.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Ciao.
Okay. Okay.
John.
Bye. Bye.